Hello, Sagittarius. How's everybody doing today? It's so good to see you. Took a minute there to get started. Hopefully everybody can hear and see me well. You can let me know in the chat really quickly there. But as we get started here, I'm going to assume everything is okay. I'd like to welcome everyone, give you a proper introduction first, and then we'll get started here. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. We'll be reading today for the sign of Sagittarius for the month of July. Because this is a live reading, however, there are many messages at the beginning that are going to resonate for the month of June too, especially the things that we see in the deep past and recent past. So I look forward to talking about all of that with you in just a second. I'd like to just, first of all, let you know how this can be used and what different aspects of your chart it will work with. Everything that I create for the live readings can be used for your sun, your rising, and also for your moon sign. You can watch on behalf of someone else that you love. If you know more about your chart, you can use it for the different parts, including Venus. I have four major parts to the way that I kind of set up my readings. I begin with channeled messages, and the way that I get into the channeled information is I select a deck of cards, I start to meditate. A lot of times I'll receive messages in dreams or meditations earlier in the morning as well. And I have about three major pieces here that I put onto paper, and I'll talk about that in just a second. So that's just pure psychic intuition. Then we'll use the cards and take a look at a traditional Celtic Cross, and then expand it to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. After all of that, a quick review, and then we go into a deeper area that I call the soul path, because it's not just about the month of July. It's actually a little bit deeper, helping you kind of set yourself up for success for the rest of the year. And there's a theme of liberation and a new direction that I'm kind of seeing for you. So we'll look at how you can kind of go into that opening. And, you know, for each sign, I've been looking at peace as well, how you can make peace with maybe something that has been challenging you or holding you back in the past. So that's the major setup. After that, we do a nice sound bath with a singing bowl, which helps integrate all of the messages and gives you a little bit of healing as well. So a lot to go through, a lot that you'll get out of this. Before I get started on that, two more quick notes. First of all, I'd like to welcome everybody. I see we have a couple new channel members. Thank you guys so much. It actually helps me continue to upgrade my decks. We'll be using a new one here called the Tarot de Saint Croix. And I'll put a link to that later. But I've been using several new decks this month because of the support. I've been able to get a new singing bowl. So thank you. This is from the people on Patreon, all the channel members, and all of you that are kind enough to do super chat and super stickers. To that end, by the way, if you want to give back, one way that you can do it during the live feed is to click on this little symbol here next to the emojis, and you can send a quick hello or unicorn or sticker like we see right there. So thank you so much for doing that. For everyone that does, I don't like to interrupt the flow, so when the reading is done and it's on replay, I'll call you out and say thank you, but I want to do it in advance as well. I don't do Q&A or pick a card because there's a lot that comes through, and again, I find that kind of distracting for me when I'm looking at someone else's sort of videos if they're constantly talking to the questions there. I do occasionally do Q&As, so if I ever do a specially themed Q&A, you'll get plenty of notice for that. Okay, let's get started because there's a lot to go through for this month, and I really look forward to sharing it with you. All right, so the first piece of information that I got, it was kind of like a couple of symbols that came together, and I was also talking to a family member about this, and they gave me another insight into this. The first thing that I saw was an elevator that was moving, and I'm sure that, or not, an escalator. You know, it's basically the moving stairs. So, you know, if you're a kid, I'm sure all of you have tried at one point trying to go in the opposite direction of that escalator. It can be kind of fun, but it's not really productive. It's a little dangerous, and you're not really going anywhere. And so what I feel is that many of us are kind of on an escalator to a new direction, to a new opportunity, and sometimes you feel like things are moving too fast, or that you weren't ready to let go of what has just kind of passed you by. And one thing that I think tempers this or can cause that feeling of I'm not ready is it's always easier to look through the lens of nostalgia, and we kind of edit out the difficult pieces of the past. And this month, if you could kind of take those glasses off and embrace what's on the other side, I think it's going to be effective. Another thing that might help, if you're old enough and you've ever kind of gone back to an old house, an old apartment, or if you've graduated school and you go back to like your high school or where you went to college, Have you ever noticed that those places that you spent so much time sort of experiencing, poignant parts of your life, when you go back, it doesn't look the same. It doesn't feel the same. Sometimes it looks smaller, especially like a family home, and you go back, 10 or 15 years later and you think, this seems so big and it was so full of life and it had all this energy. Now it's just rooms. So sometimes our life is like that. We live and we really experience something richly at one point. And it's important then to move on, because just like that house, you outgrow it. People move on, your energy is ready for something new. And although it felt good at the time, if you go back, it's just that kind of empty house. So I feel like this kind of elevator energy is bringing us, I keep calling it elevator, escalator energy is bringing us to something new. And it's a new direction, it's a new opportunity, but there is this need or opportunity for you first to release the feeling that the past was better, or I'm losing something, or I'll never get it again. And that's the first message. So I kind of tried to put it into 3 major points. First of all, you have that new direction or that new opportunity coming through. The other one here is to elevate your mind or your thoughts, because that's really what the escalator or elevator is really about, is going higher, thinking above, kind of pulling yourself into the bird's eye view of what's coming through for you. And then to kind of release this rosy colored glasses, or the lens of nostalgia is kind of how I summed it up, because things always seem better once you're not going through it. A job, an ex, school, whatever it is, it always seems like it was easier than it actually was when you went through it. And yeah, that's the main message. You're going to be fine. There's more exciting opportunities in front of you if you open up and allow for that to happen. The next thing that I focused on was the heart space. And I was getting a metaphor of kind of like a bird being in the heart, kind of like there was a song that wanted to come out, but it felt like it was kind of caged or closed off. So I was getting the message of opening up, allowing your heart to sing, metaphorically speaking, and explore new things. And it's sort of like, basically taking a leap and opening things up. Now, this liberation of your heart also kind of reminded me of a Sia song, and I should have looked at all the lyrics, but I remember enough that it was kind of about being able to rebound or being able to stretch. But Elastic Heart, I know she wrote a song a few years back. I think that was the title. But I kind of got this feeling of, if you could just be flexible, if you could feel that I can survive anything, I can move, you can try to break me, but I'm going to snap back and I'm going to be able to survive. The flexibility, the recovery, the sort of strength and resilience of the heart really came through. And so I wrote down, liberate your heart and focus on this feeling that I can handle this. I can flex. I can come back. I am elastic. So the elasticity of and again, I'm figuratively speaking about your heart space. So this is about your ability to go through anything. The last thing that I saw was kind of like an overprinted image of a door on my mind, like my third eye. And literally what it's saying is, when you open your mind to possibilities, you actually start to open the energetic path to those possibilities. When you close yourself off to what you can be, what's possible, what's out there, then you also close off those opportunities. So an open mind equals open doors, and ostensibly then opens up opportunities as well. So some really exciting things. I mean, there's an overarching theme here of resilience, liberation, and opportunity. And as we explore the cards here in a moment, we're going to see how those themes are going to play out in the month of July. And since you're watching it live, everybody here today, we'll see how you can kind of get set up so that anything that needs to be resolved prior to that can be, and so that you can really kind of go on that escalator and get into that new energy and that new direction. I want to remind everybody that we're entering into a retrograde period. It's June 18th to July 12th. So we're in it. No matter when you're watching this, you're going to either be literally in the retrograde or you'll be in the shadow if you watch it after this has been posted in the month of July, at the midpoint perhaps. So retrogrades don't scare me. They do offer that a chance to sort of, I think that sort of nostalgic energy that we were looking at gives you a chance to heal and look at something and let it go. So we'll see if that's coming through. Okay, let's pull the camera down now and look at all the messages. Apollo joined us. He's in the background and he'll be with us today as well. All right, so thanks for being patient. I like to be quiet at this point, and I'll rejoin you momentarily. right, everybody. Thank you so much for giving me a moment here to get everything set up. And let's begin with the catalyst. The catalyst helps organize the messages in the same way that some of the channeled messages kind of helped thematically show us what's available. But with the catalyst, it's also a way to create action, thus the name, and also stay in that high frequency so that you can avoid having problems come through. So I want to pull this card in the upright position. We have the crow here. And for me, crows, they deliver messages, right? And it's also a really sacred animal that kind of has a connection to the underworld or to the other side. And it seems very appropriate to me that the crow would come through because it's basically, to me, another indicator of death and transformation. And some of what we were talking about today was that it's a bird of prey, but again, it has that connotation because it deals a lot of times with things that are dead. So there's nothing morbid about this. What I see here is that it's opening up a portal to something new. And that's basically it. And there could be messages coming through in dreams and meditations and just your own connection to the divine this month to kind of help you out. So maybe you'll have a dream and you'll see like a grandfather that's passed or parent or a loved one, and they have a message to come through. So the crow to me, a lot of times is a message from someone who has passed, and they're trying to kind of help you through or show you something that you can't see. Really pay attention to your dreams. Also, as you can see, it's kind of on this beautiful portal energy or like a pearl of light. I feel like many of you have something this month, and we see it here in the ace here, the Ace of Pentacles. There's something new that you can develop, that you can grow with. I like that this particular ace is this lovely sunflower here. So you have this chance this month to really start something new, start a new cycle, grow and engage in that energy. But you have to let go of something first. It's kind of like making space for a new harvest, a new opportunity. So we'll look in a second here and see how this all ties together. All right. At the center, we have Three of Cups. And I think a lot of us are so excited to be able to a little bit connect with people. Here I can't speak for every country. It seems to be ebbing and flowing over the course of 2020. So we have moments where we can, gather more, and then we have to do social distancing. And I think that's going to be the name of the game for the rest of this year. But the Three of Cups is reminding you of the power in community, in friendship, in celebrating the little successes every day, and to try to stay connected, even with the various forms of, blockages, some of them that are literal, some of them that are just kind of a feeling like you're losing touch with people. Your power this month is going to be in your community and your chosen family. The Ten of Cups is your literal family sometimes, but the Three of Cups are friends, loved ones, and the people that we want to be with. And I'm seeing here just really enjoying and engaging with that energy. And through this can come some of the sort of growth opportunities or ideas or support that many of you may be needing and wanting. One thing that I do with a couple of my friends is we'll do like a Zoom, like tea or meal or watching something. And so it's maybe once a month or once every month and a half. We catch up, and there's people in a few different cities, and we just have fun. We talk for about an hour, and it's nice. It's kind of like we're hanging out at a restaurant or something. So feel free to have like new ways to gather. And once this is all said and done, when we sort of see each other again face to face, it won't feel like there's as much catching up to do. We'll know what's going on. And I think that's important. So friends and community came through really loud and clear at the center. Some of you may be also meeting new people because, of course, Three of Cups can indicate new love, but it's usually a sort of casual love. With the Three of Cups and with the Fool card, what happens there is sometimes it's transitional or it's exploratory. It's not necessarily something of commitment. But I see you wanting to engage or get out there a little more, and I support that. I think that's a great idea. Do it in a way that's safe or smart. You can do virtual meetings like I'm talking about, or very small groups. All right. On top of this, we have the Two of Swords. And so for some of you, there's this feeling of what next? How do I get through this? What am I supposed to be doing? Am I on the right path? It's basically a card that can lead into helping you make a decision, but sometimes you have to go through that little panic mode of indecisiveness first to get ready for it. So I feel for some of you, talking to some friends can help. It's nice to know, am I overthinking this? What do you think about this? I don't want you to put too much weight into what everyone's saying, but I think it could help you have a reality check to see if you are simply giving yourself a hard time or overthinking it. So power, support, and perhaps some insight from your close friends and allies, and it can help you break through the Two of Swords energy, which can be a stalemate, basically, or indecisiveness. Okay. The Empress card in reverse in the deep past. First of all, I like Empress energy because it, for me, is very creative. We have a kind of springtime energy of this, and I feel like many of us, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, this is when everything kind of got cut off with the coronavirus and everything. And so that's part of the reason that the Empress energy, which is also fertility, which is creative energy, which is the flow of all of the aforementioned, kind of got cut off. So for some of you, it's like, how can you kind of playfully get back into that flow and think, I can do this again. I always could do this. And that's what we're seeing in this card, is to try to find like the springtime energy in your own sort of auric field, in your mind, and just in your heart. I was saying, open up your heart again. Empress reverse is also focusing inward. So I've seen her reversed almost kind of like consistently through all the different signs this month. Couple of months, she's been reversed a lot in the decks, and that's telling me that it's time to take care of yourself and anything in your immediate family that matters. And it's also, it's a sort of funny way for the universe to say, kind of like, mind your business first, not just mind your own business, but mind your business first, then help others, or sometimes wait for them to come to you. And I think it's important to mention that a couple of times so that you're not overextending yourself. Wait for people to need or want or kind of tap into your energy, because there's a lot of other things going on that are exciting this month, and you don't want to get sort of tapped out. Okay. I love this World card. This is showing you that you can get back into the divine feminine, and the World card almost invariably has a woman at the center, which is good. So I can definitely see you getting back into the flow. This is in the recent past. So by the time July hits, you guys should be in a really good zone with this. So we have the World card connected to all the elements, to earth, to sky, to sun, to moon, being able to create once more. So I feel like you're going to get back into the flow of energy. And I hope that you can kind of just open up your heart and mind to that. As we can see here, our bodies really are portals of energy. And that's why things like Reiki works, or, acupuncture, any kind of energy healing, it's really just opening up all those little doors and portals and clearing out the blockages. Do some of that for yourself if you can. If I know we're in social distancing, but you can meditate and try to imagine things getting cleared out a little bit. And if you are able to receive some sort of Reiki treatment, actually doesn't require touch. So that's something that might be doable during this period of time. But the world also has other connotations. It can be moving. It can be a new job, a new relationship, a new opportunity, a big change in your life. It's generally speaking a very positive one. The Tower has the same connotations, but can be a little bit more frenetic, a little bit more crazy, a little less expected. With the World, sometimes it can feel abrupt, but usually you see the opportunity or the silver lining. And so for many of you, there's a chance to really step into something new and to open up some other possibility. Don't let that portal close. And that's what we're kind of seeing here. It's almost like the crow is sitting on the world here, if you will. So this is your chance to really go after that and embrace it. The crow is reversed, which means also that things may not always seem, may not always be what they seem, or the communication of them may not be effective, which of course is something that happens during retrograde. So I've noticed even with the live feeds, there's been some glitches this month, and that is usual. We're all going through it. So let's take a look now at your crowning card, and we have the Six of Wands, and it's reversed. Now, the upright version of this is really positive. It's saying that you're going to, whatever you kind of put your mind to, it's like you have the Midas touch. You can get easier approvals, more support. It's a card of popularity. The reversal of it isn't really negative. It's just saying you don't need to tune into all of those thoughts so much. Like, follow your heart, follow your intuition, stay true to what you're trying to do in whatever it is, whether it's a relationship or work. And that's the most important, because sometimes if we try too much to please, we water down what it is that we're trying to work on here. I like the Six of Wands because they're actually using like little candles and coming together. And I do think this is a time when community is important. So the other thing with the reversal of that can just be a delay for some of these things, celebrations, even mourning, whatever it is. find a new way to honor those sort of connections, because Three of Cups and Six of Wands, definitely that's friends and that's community, illustrated very nicely there as well. All right, as we look at near future, some of the first thing that you want to focus on opportunity wise next month, look at how are you feeling on a body level, a spiritual level, and also like within your own relationships. We have the Five of Pentacles here, and it's kind of interesting. We have different seasons represented, even in the Destiny one, and we'll talk about that in a second. But this particular one, you can actually see how big the help is, how there's always like a church or some sort of sanctuary or a temple in the background. So we see like a statue here. It looks like it's, Mother Mary, but we have all of these people in front of it that are kind of out in the cold, not being helped, feeling like they're isolated, but meanwhile there is shelter there. And so for some of us, it's just the illusion. It's the feeling of isolation that's going on. Like I can't touch, I can't be with that community, kind of figuratively and literally. The other piece of this has to do with, for me, parent and children relationships in your life. So we have two mother cards, or two, I would say, divine feminine cards with the Empress and the World. One of them, nurturing, abundant, there as you would always expect it to be. The other one can be a little bit overwhelming, a little bit kind of like a helicopter mom, or critical, or trying to control you. You might have a couple of different figures in your life or in your family where just you're feeling like you're pulled between them, which is why I might have felt that like elasticity. Maybe you have someone that you love and your family won't support who you love or whatever, or you're trying to do something that you love, but they're not allowing you to have that passion. This is a time for you to stand up for yourself. And in that case, you become kind of like the divine feminine mother that you need, and you just go for it. Because there has to be a healing with this Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles means that you own your strength. You have good self-confidence that even if you're not receiving the love, you know that you are worthy. The self-worth is important because without it, we can't get to the Ace of Pentacles that I see in the ego. So what you can focus on this month is really meditating on the idea and the truth, by the way, that you can say, I am worth all the opportunities that come my way. I'm lovable. I'm ready for new and exciting adventures. And, basically I'm open to love and abundance in all forms. That's my kind of my standard go-to for the meditation when you're feeling a little less than. If you do this, we have an Ace of Pentacles here. It's reversed, but it's okay. It's still showing that it can happen. So the Ace of Pentacles, showing growth, showing the ability to really shine brightly. And it has a little bit of the ego energy that you would normally see with the Sun card, because the sunflower is the sun. So for you, this is really about letting your personality come through and really allow people into your heart, your soul, your dream. That's what makes, actors so desirable. It's because they're vulnerable and they show little pieces of their soul sometimes. Artists, the same way. That's why we have that kind of celebrity culture sometimes, is we're just drawn into their auric field. They have such a big sense of self that they're bigger than life. And this to me looks like a bigger than life sunflower. So for you to really sell what you're trying to sell, whatever it is, whether it's like, hey, you should date me, or you should hire me for this job, or I want to start my company and you should want to do business with me, you really have to believe it and be bigger than life. And we can all do it. We all have moments in our life where we find our voice, we find the light, we find the energy, and we just push it out there. So, for you, Sagittarius, I feel like July is a chance for you to not be afraid of stepping into the spotlight. We didn't get the star, but we might as well have with that, because to me, it looks like the star. It is a star and it is a sun. So it has the same energy here, okay? So this is going to help you. Actually, we did get the star right above it. It's a different constellation here. I did kind of look through the book earlier. I forget the name of the Egyptian goddess. I think it's Nut, and I don't know how to say that, but I believe she's another eternal sort of fertility goddess, if you will. And so one of the things with this is we've got basically planting a seed and then a goddess that looks over that seed, over that fertility, and it is allowing you to sort of like reap the rewards as long as you invest in it. The star card, which is in the environment, comes through because it's your time to shine. She's upright, which is good. This is telling me many of you already know what it is you want or need to do in your life. or you're ready to kind of really feel self-empowered and go down that path, this is the month to begin that. If you've never given it a lot of thought, because a lot of 20th century habits still sort of weigh us down, just get a job, get some insurance, do this, do everything your family did because that's expected of you. This could just be a month of enlightenment, of personal exploration. And between the star and the world, you start to discover things that move you. How can I have a bigger connection to this planet? What else can I do that's going to really make a difference? You're coming through really, really strongly, Sagittarius, this month. All divine feminine cards, basically. And it doesn't matter. You can be, if you self-identify as male, then it doesn't mean that it doesn't apply to you. What it means is this is super exciting because these are boss cards, they're creative cards, they're abundance cards, and you have all of those things that you can access. And we should not be limited by gender, by the way. I hope we're getting to the point where we realize we are souls that live many lifetimes, male and female, every single walk of life, rich, poor, black, white, everything. We go through it all. Once we start to see through this weird shell that we have to wear every single lifetime, we realize I can play with all of the crayons in that sort of canister. It's all there for me to explore. So if you're a man, you can dip into the divine feminine. If you're a woman, divine masculine. If you want to do both, because that makes us more powerful, and it's our divine right to be able to access that energy. That's what these cards are showing you. Have fun, be empowered, because the divine feminine is here. You can be both strong and nurturing and productive and fruitful. So I see a lot of great energy this month for you. The question is, are you ready? Because when I was looking at the channeled message, the heart was a little closed. We see that here. It could be confidence from your parents, from something going on there. The mind could be closed. Got to open that up. And you might be kind of pulling back from the direction that you're being pulled in. Great forward momentum and velocity coming through with this, but you have to go with it. If you fight, then it takes longer, and you don't want to do that. So anyway, overall, really, really positive stuff. I want to mention, though, that we have a lot of, with all of those sort of nurturing, feminine, fertility energies. First of all, if you want to start something, even though it's retrograde, this is a great time for planning and planting those seeds. If you're looking to start a family, we've got a lot of energy around that. If you're well past that, again, it's just about being able to nurture and nourish. But I have to mention it because we have like 3 divine feminine cards plus an Ace of Pentacles. So might be a good time to start a family if that's something that you're looking into. For the rest of you, it's about a new venture or something that you want to see come to fruition. All right, right above it, we have another very powerful major arcana card, the Magician. The Magician is actually reversed, unlike the Star card. I like that this Magician is actually reading oracles or a tarot deck. I think it's this one, actually. But the Magician is capable of doing anything he or she puts their mind to. The question with the reversal is, do you know? And that's really what was presented at the center. Some of you are unsure. Maybe you're feeling like you're doubting the idea, like, can I do this? Is this something that people will believe? The first step is believing in yourself. The open door is just keeping that open mind. So why not explore? Why not do a little research? Why not see where it takes you? I think all of that's going to be really, really important. We have in the outcome card, the Queen of Swords. She's also reversed. And this is really about being direct and to the point. I like Queen of Swords. I don't care if she's upright or reversed. It's about the power of your voice. And really, it's just about tempering the communication a little bit. The reversal of this is saying, it's good to sometimes state your intentions or your limits and to get straight to the point. The only thing you want to avoid with the Queen of Swords is going in for the kill and saying something that's too harsh or is intentionally hurtful. But otherwise, she's a really great card, even reversed, because it basically is saying you, through your directness, can actually get people engaged too. They know that you're not playing games, that you're ready to get started. So, once you've made that clarity of your vision and your sort of cognitive acuity, then the Queen of Swords can be activated. I do think you have to think before you speak. She's the last card in this spread. So make sure that you've vetted everything. And then once you're ready to activate, because we have, I'll pull the camera down for a second, but because we have the Ace of Pentacles, the Star card, the Magician, and then the Queen of Swords here, got a lot of power that it's going to make all of that possible, okay? So let's move along now to your expanded forecast. As we do this, it's going to open up additional sort of threads of insight into everything that we've talked about. We're going to start here with your health card, which is mind, body, and spirit. This one's focused on spirit. If you look at it, the card was reversed, but I like to pull everything upright just so we can soak in the imagery. It basically is the heart. That's what it looks like to me. And I kind of see like this crown on top of the heart, so kind of like pulling your heart energy through the crown chakra. It says return of spirit or return to spirit. I was just talking about how in our physical bodies, I think it's the dense energy that is the human existence sometimes that makes it so hard to see our power. We're in this body that's weighted down and pushed down by gravity. We have to use words, these sounds, we move our mouth and do all this stuff to communicate. Where, whenever I've had communications with angelic beings, with ascended masters, with the dead, it's basically it's psychic, it's telepathic. And one of the most profound experiences I had with a non-earthly being, an angel, was it didn't speak language at all. It conveyed emotion, and then it downloaded images into my head. It showed me thoughts, like through images. So it was so old and so advanced and beyond us that language was dense for it. So it simply conveyed the knowing, the visuals and the knowing. So I would see something and know exactly what I needed to know from that vision. It was like the ultimate form of clairvoyance, very, very profound. And I think that this is so dense, moving and thinking and trying to connect these little impulses and get my tongue and mouth to move and all of that. It's a real dense thing. Like I get out of my body when I'm doing these readings. I spend like a lot of my day not sort of connected to all of that, but I don't even know how it works sometimes. So if we can just connect to that higher power and not try to control it all, because you have so much controlling energy, you got a lot of queen cards here, world, the star, the queen of swords, all of the empress. I think one of the things you have to do is trust, because they're all feminine cards. You've got to let the flow happen, the flow of creativity and energy. It has to work through you. So to get to spirit, just open up. For some of you, you're going to want to cry. For some of you, you're going to want to sing. There's going to be maybe this sort of like movement of energy and a sort of, I think you have to let the emotions out, is what I'm seeing with the return to spirit. And then the insight comes through, then the clarity, then the focus. Other things, more tangible, more on the earthly plane. 5 of Pentacles, please do take care of lower extremities, particularly your circulation in your legs and knees and ankles. Take a look at any joint pain that you might be having in that space. If there's any pain that you're feeling in your heart, this has probably more to do with pain from people that you love. Are you feeling like you're an outsider? Are you feeling like they don't understand you? Try to heal those relationships or move past them. They could be holding you back. 3 of Cups at the center, everything in moderation, especially when it comes to drinking. Otherwise, things are actually pretty good in this spread. Just a lot of seated cards with all those queens. Like I said, that to me is too much sitting, and that explains why we might see the 5 of Pentacles. Get up, move your legs, stretch. If you are in a wheelchair or something, there's other things that you can do to kind of create circulation. You might be working with a physical therapist. And of course, if you're older, you want to work with a doctor and figure out how to do that. Things like even working with the chair and stretching and using that as a support so that you don't lose balance. Whatever you can do, whatever the limits of your body are, trust it, love it, and work with it, okay? That's basically what I'm seeing with your health. Let's look at wealth, which for me isn't just money in your bank. It isn't the job that you do. It's fulfillment, like is what I'm giving back to me. We have another strong feminine card here, and it says the mother prays. For many of you, you might be, and it was reversed, so it definitely connects with the Empress reversed in the past. I wonder out there if some of you have had a mother who has been so sort of strong in your life that she's pushed you into a path, being a lawyer, being a teacher, being a whatever. Have you had a chance to just explore things for yourself? How much of what you're doing is because of society, parents, lineage, whatever? This is your chance to break free and say, I don't need to do that anymore, or I need to own my own power. There could also be at your place of employment a very like I said, like a helicopter boss. They're trying to take your power. They don't allow you to sort of explore things. This is a chance to kind of break free and open that chain around your heart, or around your mind, because sometimes their own limits project onto you as well. So it closes your mind, it closes your heart. You're going to play, it's like peekaboo, but you're going to open things up and leave it open and see everything, see it and feel it this month. Connect those two things. That's what we're seeing here. The heart to the third eye or to the crown. Whoever this person or whatever this sort of, to me, it feels oppressive. So whatever the oppressive energy or suppressing energy is from a friend, a mother, a boss, a coworker, they're not really whatever their role is. They're actually limiting you. And so part of the relationship opportunity or karmic energy this lifetime, it's just to kind of like reclaim, a reclamation of power, if that makes sense. Good. Okay. You have a great card here when it comes to money and resources. I don't think you had any other pentacles. No. So if you're going to get a card, an ace is a darn good one to get when it comes to pentacles. So new opportunity. For some of you, you may not see it. It may not be in the sort of thing that you imagine yourself doing, but it's still really fruitful, especially with the sort of fertility goddess looking right over top of it here in the star card. Okay. And for some of you, it's because it's your turn to, maybe you've spent your lifetime as like an administrative assistant, making a boss look amazing. Or maybe you spent your lifetime editing people's novels and you're an amazing writer, or, whatever it is, you've been the person behind the curtain. It's kind of like the one that's been creating the show. This is your chance to just be the show, to kind of put your energy out there and say, I'm tired of making you look good. I'm going to start to work on feeling good, doing something that matters, doing something that also allows my energy to give back to this world, because we live one life. I mean, we live many, but this life, we have one chance to go through. So in this one incarnation in this lifetime, we need to really make a difference and leave an imprint. Otherwise, the next time we come back, we're going to be repeating it, and nobody likes a rerun, right? So let's get past the reruns. All right. Health, wealth, love. Some of you are feeling stuck here, and it's kind of funny that this person almost looks like they want to hug you, and we can't hug right now, right? But the other thing is it can just be a big block. And this is one of the first masculine cards that I've seen here. So for you this month, it's about like releasing that block. That's why this was reversed. And I feel like if you're stuck, if you're feeling like nothing's working, then I want you to kind of think, have I just kind of reached the end of this path? The Two of Swords is not a dead end. This card, I love it, but it doesn't actually show one thing that I'd like to talk about in a traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, which is usually you see the woman blindfolded and there's two paths behind her. It doesn't mean that they're bad paths or that there's a right or a wrong path. It means that you just need to move, make a choice, take the blindfold off, make the best decision, and go forward. Sometimes it means that there's no easy decision or no easy win, quote unquote. Doesn't mean that there's good or bad. It just means that movement's necessary. So start moving is what I would say, even if it's kind of like a step at a time, or doing a little research, or picking up the phone, or whatever it is that you need to do. You are the one that's going to create momentum, because on this planet, we're pushed down with the gravity and we have to move ourselves. It's not like we can just get like in outer space where something can tap you and then you go in another orbit. You have to move you. So with relationships, you're the one that's going to probably pick up the phone, make the call, make the plans, check in, or say goodbye if that's something that you need to do as well. You're the catalyst. So you're only at an impasse if you allow yourself to be at one. Any time spent, because this is kind of like the Hanged Man when it's upside down, is for insight, is for understanding, but you can choose to move past this impasse if you would like. Relationship-wise, some of you may just have had enough. Again, with that authority figure in the Five of Pentacles, and that's okay. You don't have to put up with that anymore. And once you've made that choice and you can speak your truth, even that might be important. You might have to go counter to what your friends and family want, and you have to just speak up and say, "I'm the one. This is what I want." I like that we have a female warrior in this card too, and the Queen of Swords. Unusual. I like this deck because it just has a different approach, looking for cards that are more inclusive, that have different imagery, and this is really cool. All right, let's take a look now at your destiny card. We have Winter. It says, take care of your needs. So I talked about the sort of different energies here, and I feel like for some of us, the feeling of being stuck is something that is real. But in this, it is about survival, and it is about your instincts. And when I look at a wolf card like this, that's what I'm drawn to. Instinctively, thank you, you know what to do. And intuitively, that's why I was stuck. I was trying to put the two words together. Intuitively, you need to kind of trust that inner knowing. And if there's something that you have to do to survive, do it. And sometimes that means leaving something that feels comfortable or has been safe or has been sort of pushed or thrust into your life as something that you must do. This is your chance to kind of put a stake in the ground and say, no more, I want to do this instead. And it is showing that you can survive even alone, but this is a lone wolf. So you have the capacity to make it through whatever period you're in right now. And maybe that means a little bit of time self-analyzing, spending some time with yourself, really getting strong and getting ready for whatever the next step is. It may not necessarily need all that energy of other people. One thing that I'll talk about quickly before we move on to the summary with love. I know a lot of you might be asking, like, I don't focus like other readers. I don't even understand how people can talk for a full hour about love. But I'm going to talk a little bit about love here just so that you have the answers here. So with the Three of Cups, there are new opportunities coming through for you. There's very strong nurturing energy, but also controlling energy that I see. So there's themes this month. If you're trying to find love, make sure that the existing relationships with women in your life have been healed, particularly those with your mother, your sister, your aunt, anybody that kind of is in an authority role. Because when the next partner comes in, be they a man or woman or, you know, someone who doesn't non-binary, whatever, you just want to make sure that that relationship has been healed so that you're not playing out the power dynamics again, okay? Because there's a very strong divine feminine energy coming through in the partnership that I see here for you. And I think that's the key message. If you're in an existing relationship, it's about how can we equal it out? We should both be able to be strong and loved and accepted. And this month, whatever you decide to do, your key relationships are focusing on your ability to shine. You should be able to be yourself. This is like a coming out or a sort of a truth card. So if it's like, I want to leave my job or I want to go back to school, or if it's about literally coming out and because we're in Pride Month, well, depending on when you watch this, this is a chance for you to be yourself. And if people can't love you with that, they need to evolve or they didn't love you to start with. So be yourself, love yourself, shine brightly, and the relationships around you will be better for that, okay? But yeah, I think that's the key message because the Queen of Swords is the main energy that came through. So you might be meeting a very strong divine feminine energy, could be an air sign. You need to be ready to talk real talk with this person because with the swords reversed, that means that they're going to just say it how it is. So you should be able to do the same thing. You need to get yourself in a strong place and be able to do the same in your own life. And then that's kind of what you're attracting. But the cool thing with these cards is if you don't like that, change it because you are basically bringing in mirrors of who you are. That's what relationships are. The whole journey is so that our soul can get better. It's not about meeting the love of your life. It is about being the sort of like evolving your soul. Having a family, loving someone gives you lessons in that path. And it makes it a heck of a lot more fun, right? But it's not the purpose of your life. It's always to be the best person you can and to leave this world a better place than when you started. So don't feel bad if you're not with someone. Don't feel bad if you're with someone and you don't like them. The journey is always about you and helping and loving the people around you, okay? Let's now do a quick review of everything we talked about. And then we're going to go a little deeper in the soul and see what this month has to bring, especially in this kind of opening energy and then maybe releasing things from the past. Okay. Let's go to the beginning here. So my first channeled message had to do with that escalator that I saw. You have a chance to go somewhere else here, but are you ready to elevate and imagine something different? If you're stuck looking at the past through like rose-colored glasses, it's going to be difficult to see and appreciate what's in front of you. So take off those glasses, look at it with your heart, look at it with your third eye, feel it out and see if you're ready for it. That's really what this impasse is about here at the center and also here when we're looking at love. Liberate your heart. Remember, it can survive almost anything. It can flex into new areas. It's an elastic heart, as Sia said. Open your mind. That opens opportunities. It opens new doors. Conversely, a closed mind will ensure that you're not going to move forward and will help keep you in that impasse. Messages from beyond are coming through. We have it reversed. So whenever I see like a high priestess card or death card or a messenger like this reversed, it's saying you may be doubting the messages you're receiving. Don't. There's this beautiful bright energy right underneath the crow. So to me, it's less about the crow and it's more about the message. Just stay open, okay? Even if something scares you, if you haven't seen that relative for a while, or if you're just feeling like this inner instinct that I was talking about with the wolf, I feel like this is okay. This is exactly that primal energy that you feel is okay. These are both really good cards for survival. The crow and the wolf can kind of survive through anything. This can eat almost anything. This is a hunter. They're both basically hunters. So if we also look at that kind of totem energy that's coming through with these two animals, again, you have to go after this. The Queen of Swords, she's a warrior here. Do you see like around the top? And we're seeing also family up here. So for some of you, you got to fight for what you love, for what's important. And that may make you feel like a lone wolf sometimes, but your true tribe, your true family is going to rally around you. They're more at the center. There may seem like there's more people here, but it's the small intimate groups that matter the most. And that's a nice segue into the Three of Cups. They may help you have a gut check with the Two of Swords moment that you're experiencing. The Empress reverse is really about owning your power, being able to make your own decisions, healing yourself, not letting bosses, mothers, friends, aunts, uncles, whatever, step in and take away that power, that opportunity. The World card, new job, new opportunity, moving, publishing or distribution. By the way, I love these two cards if you're an artist out there. The World and the Star card show that what you're doing is very attractive and very sort of universal, if you will. It's something that people really want to connect to. So this is your time to shine. And the Six of Wands supports that. To stay true to it, however, if you get a pushy agent or editor or publisher, you have to stay true to the vision as much as you can. Might be better to self-release or something like that, or go indie, because these cards show me that you have a clear indication of what you need. And this could be pressure or oppression, basically, even trying to make you force you into something you don't want to do. Five of Pentacles, I forgot to mention earlier, there was another Pentacles card here. With the two, I would say the opportunity is really in the, sorry, that was just a cord that fell. With this, there's an opportunity to go into something more fulfilling. So for me, I've been reading the Five of Pentacles really as a card of closing off the heart, of relationships. It can mean financial sort of breaking even. It's not necessarily a card of being in debt, but it's not showing you being in the black. It's more being towards being in the red. So you want to be very careful. To me, it's break even. Six of Pentacles is being in the black, where you're having small profit, not a lot, but enough to sort of be above water. So if it's a business, I see you surviving, but you probably need to try to get out there and really connect with community. I feel like if you are a small business owner, by the way, Three of Cups, Six of Wands, that actually bodes very well for you. People just don't know how to reconnect with you. So improve your marketing. For some of you, it's just time to move on. New job, new decade, new you. And I feel like whatever this was, it's more to me a journey from something that didn't fulfill you to something that does, allowing yourself to shine, not always bolstering other people, but also bolstering yourself. The Magician card showing that if you put your mind to it, you can do it, but don't get distracted, because a reversed magician can sometimes sort of be like ADHD, or there's a shiny thing and you go towards that. You have to focus. Queen of Swords, being direct, but not being cruel. Moving along now to the expanded forecast again, connecting the heart to the crown chakra. Also looking at, with your health, I would say, making sure that with these divine feminine relationships that you just love and nurture yourself. And with your heart, make sure that you really put your heart and soul into whatever you're doing this month, whether it's a relationship or a job. If people can't honor that, that's why this is kind of coming through as heavy. And I see a little bit of that same energy here with this maternal card that's kind of pushing at your health. It's also pushing at your career. Follow your heart, follow your soul. One more message with health: work on circulation, stretch a little bit more, walk a little bit more if you can. Love, the impasse is largely, for some of you, just, it's up to you. You're going to be the one that's going to have to speak the truth, saying, I love you, or I want to break up, or I need this, or I'm ready for that. You're going to have to basically just be your own advocate this month in many ways. And you can survive. That's basically what the wolf is saying. The crow, the wolf, and this warrior goddess, sort of Queen of Swords here, Fight for what you want. You've got it. I see it. So much divine energy coming through for you this month. It's exciting. All right, we're going to now take a look at the soul path, where we're going to look at the past, present, and future, see what all of this is opening up for you, see if there's any areas where you need to do a little bit of integration. And then we'll meditate together to seal all of that and help you get ready for the month ahead, okay? Let's take a look at the past. Again, for some of you, it's making peace with something. For the rest of you, this is opening up to something. Opening a closed door, if you will. Eight of Pentacles. This is such an unusual illustration for the Eight of Pentacles. Normally, you would see someone working on things and you see the pentacles going up the side. It's a very auspicious, positive, supportive card saying that whatever you decide to invest in usually will give you a good return on said investment. So what we see with this is the flow of energy moving around all of these pentacles, which are kind of on this riverbed. And I like that metaphor because if you think of the Nile River, for instance, back before they kind of put the dams, like the Aswan Dam or whatever it is, it used to flood, and the flooding would bring all of this sort of rich soil in, and it would allow for everything to grow. And so I believe that for many of you, you could either be the dam that's holding back this creative flow, or you could have this flood of energy and inspiration that wants to come through. Let that happen with all these, with the Empress card, with the World card, with the Star card, and even with the Queen of Swords. They are channeling cards. Just let that come through this month and allow yourself to move on. I feel like this is also a card of moving on. So Eight of Pentacles traditionally can be going back to school, it can be learning new things, it can be starting a business. It's showing me that if you're looking to do something, there is tangible, creative, positive energy that comes out of that. It's in the past. You might have put that on the shelf, maybe to start a family, maybe to make your family happy, maybe because you lacked resources or confidence at the time. This point, it's your time to go back and say, I'm going to do this. This is always something that I wanted to. I don't care if I'm, 2 years late or 20 years late, or I'm retired and I still want to do it. Who cares? This is your chance. The fertility, the positive growth that's coming from that is still tangible and still something that you can tap into. So, yeah. It's a cool sort of energy here. All right, let's take a look now at what's coming through in the here and the now. Don't beat yourself up for lost time, for any sort of difficulties that you might have been through. It's made you who you are. It's made you resilient. Remember, in the channeled messages before I pulled any cards, I was talking about that Sia song. I got to listen to it. I didn't have time before the reading because it came kind of late, but I remember the video and I just remember this feeling of being able to survive. You've got this. You're going to be able to be even stronger. Your heart can manage whatever's going on. Five of Cups is always an opportunity to focus on loss or opportunity. Please focus on opportunity. It's not all lost. You can still make something happen. Yes, maybe you would have changed things, but would you really have? Because I believe that sometimes it's better to have lost something, and then when you have it, you're going to really appreciate having it, or to have been hungry for it a little bit, like these hunting cards that we see. Because when you finally then get that meal, it's sort of like, I worked hard for this, for the sort of, and we're talking figuratively, of course, but like it's the harvesting period. That's really what's coming through now. So don't miss that opportunity because you wish it could have happened sooner. It's happening exactly when it needs to. You created your own curriculum. So just own it and then make some different choices for the future. Five of Cups is saying basically elevate your mind, which is another thing that we talked about earlier. Elevate your mind, elevate your thoughts, see the blessing in all the struggle that you've had. And you can't change the past, but you can change the future. That's a nice segue into looking at what's opening up for you. I see someone talking about the fives here in the chat. If you pull a bunch of fives, it really does show that you've got work to do, and just keep pushing through it. But to me, five is still progress. It sometimes just lacks the ability to sort of see that you've made the progress. All right, we have the very magical Two of Wands. And I love this because sometimes in the traditional illustration, you lose the sort of understanding that it is a necessity to manifestation. You've got to hold the world in your hands and the vision or the crystal or the whatever it is that you're creating to be able to understand, I've got this, I'm doing this. With this, we kind of see someone as like a sorceress, if you will, and the world is more indicated in what's possible. And we have as above, so below, basically connecting your divine spirit to your earthly incarnation. And you are the magician. We got the magician too. So because that's really what I would see in the magician card. The magician's reverse. So what this is saying is stop doubting yourself. Start doing your divine path. Start opening up to it. Start channeling. And once you can see it, you can do it. Open mind, open doors. So we've got a lot of synchronicities with the cards here. So that's you. That's what you want to meditate on, is kind of looking out this beautiful starry window and creating the new world, the new future, the new you that you want. And this is so important. Like, this is a metaphor for our world at the moment, because right, it's kind of broken. It's kind of a mess, but it's also on the precipice of improvement, of growth, and we're creating the future for ourselves, for our children, for our children's children. Figuratively speaking, again, if you don't have kids, I'm just talking about the future. And we are our own children because, like I said, we reincarnate. If people understood that we're going to come back many, 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 many times, you would recycle, you would love the planet, we wouldn't be doing all this stuff with pollution because we're just messing up our home. So let's improve, let's make this a better world. Do something amazing for yourself and for the planet. That's a great way to honor everything that we saw here today, okay? Let's meditate. Let's bring this into a nice sort of package. There's so many stars today. I feel like there's no way that I couldn't use stars in the imagery here. And so we're gonna do something with the stars in a moment here. And I feel like really the opportunity, if I'm just going to summarize what we looked at here, there's a path that hasn't been taken for many of you. Maybe a path was chosen for you, and like a river, the Mississippi in America is a great example. It just keeps carving out new sort of, new paths. It's constantly changing, and rivers do that. They don't stay on one path. They have to shift to evolve. So you're like the Mississippi or the Nile. You have to keep moving, and you have to let this stuff out, this sort of version of yourself. So allow the floodgates to open, take a new path, carve it. It's going to be hard, but it's worth it. Doesn't matter if it took longer than you want. Look at how the sort of, this is the water still moving its way through. You're going to do it. The metaphor is continued. And now you're in the creation mode. Now you're able to decide, I'm going to do it this time. I'm not going to take anything less than that vision of who I am. So these are the two that I really want to focus on, is allowing your energy to flow and then pulling in the energy of stars and creation. So I've been talking about the Nile. Maybe we'll imagine ourselves at a like sacred ancient river like that, like the Nile. And we'll open the flow of energy of creativity so that we can break through all of the blocks in our life, okay? I'm just gonna get everything set up here. We'll be using a singing bowl, so if you're on headphones, just turn it down a little bit. Otherwise, you can just enjoy. If you haven't already hit the subscribe button, please do it. It does make a difference. It lets me know that this is a channel that people like, and same thing with YouTube. It helps people discover it. And I know a lot of times I do a live reading and people don't subscribe, so please do it if you liked it. And then later you can hit the like button too. Okay, with that being said, close your eyes. Take a moment to sort of scan your body and feel everything out. How are you feeling right now? If there's any sort of tension that you're holding on to, in this moment, I just want you to send the breath towards that space. And you can also just imagine that you're pulling a ribbon of light through your body. So eyes closed, sitting up tall for a moment. Pull that ribbon of energy from the bottom of your feet all the way through your crown chakra and take a nice deep breath. Relax. Take your neck for a second and gently rotate it if you can. If you have limited motion, you can just go to the right and to the left. If you have a little bit more, you can actually move it. It's not about how quickly or how far. It's just a gentle and slow movement. You can take longer than I'm taking to talk to do it. And just honor your body and kind of unwind things a little bit there. Closing your eyes now, if you haven't already, I want you to imagine that you are in the past, standing at an ancient river. I think the Nile is a great one. That's been coming to me many times, and there's an Egyptian theme in a lot of these cards. So maybe see yourself at that ancient river that was a center point for early civilizations, was a symbol of fertility, just a very powerful energy. And I had a lifetime there too, so I even get a little bit emotional when I think about that. So tap into the ancient energy of the Nile. She's here today to help you. Think of the blockages in your life. Think of the dams, the figurative dams that have been built by society, by your parents, by your own lack of imagination, or by your own fear, and call the Nile into those areas so that she can break through it, so that it can be released. Take a moment now looking up at the stars above you. Imagine it's a starry night in ancient Egypt, and you're looking up at the stars here on the continent of Africa, a place where we were all coming from back in the beginning. You're at the cradle of civilization, tapping into the creative flow of this river and looking at the stars, remembering where you came from, whether you were a star like one of those up in the sky, or you're some other soul from some other galaxy. Whatever your previous lifetime, whatever your previous connection was, you're here on this planet now. Own your divinity, own your purpose, see it coming through, feel it coming through your heart. And now allow for the river and the stars to kind of collide through your earthly body. Imagine that as you breathe, you're breathing in the starlight. Imagine as you're sitting on the Nile, you can feel the energy of her water pushing through your physical body. I'm going to play the singing bowl, and I want this to also help break up the blockages. See yourself now as the divine goddess of fertility that we see here, as the world card capable of bringing forth new things. You are the creator now. Close your eyes, allow that opening to happen, allow the floodgates to open, allow your third eye to open. Take a deep breath. Allow yourself now to feel that you are moving forward towards your intended soul destination, whatever that may be. That you are propelled by positive thought, by affirmation, by the feeling of I can, I will, I am, knowing that by believing in yourself, by seeing the possibilities, you've already created them. It's just time to catch up to them. So imagine perhaps as the last bit of this meditation that everything could happen a little bit faster than you originally thought. Leave it up to the universe to maybe make it happen a little faster if it can. Gently open your eyes. Welcome back to this time, this place, this body. Realize that you are part of the divine, though. That's something that gets lost with humanity right now because it's convenient for the powers that be to make us believe that we don't have power. Because then it's easier to control us. So when you start to realize that you're connected to the divine, you see through the illusions and you're not as easily controlled or swayed. So keep that third eye wide open and see your possibilities. For anybody who was kind enough today to support me with Super Chat, thank you so much. The singing bowl, this beautiful deck that I was using, many of the decks that I've been using over the past few weeks have been made possible by you, so thank you. I do try to update my supplies. It does cost money, and I've even upgraded my equipment this year, so I'm trying to stay up to date, and you guys make it possible, so thank you so much. If you would like to follow me on social media, it'd be a great idea, and I'd love for you to do it. First of all, if you haven't clicked subscribe, do that now. You can also join me on Facebook. It's at Nicholas Ashbaugh. There are 2 accounts. This is the right one. It will look like a business, and it says that, so choose that one. And then if you want to join me on Patreon, it's a great way to give back in a monthly sort of fashion, as little as $1. It's a great way to say thanks. Instagram, please follow me if you like. I post a lot of pictures of Apollo, this little furry creature behind me. So it's at Nicholas Ashbaugh, _ Ashbaugh rather. And I will also put story reminders there. So again, don't forget the underline there. And all of these are going to be on my website, but one more handle here. My Twitter handle is at @Ashbaugh. So if you want to find out more about how to contact me, what's going on with videos, or all of that jazz, you can find it here on nicholasashbaugh.com. That's my official website. It's all there. Booking appointments, etc. I do have PayPal too. Sometimes people ask. It's paypal.me/NicholasAshbaugh. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed today's reading. I felt a lot of powerful energy coming through, particularly after that meditation. I think a lot of you will find that July is going to bring you opportunities, that you're going to be able to break through some of this stuff. Even upon listening to this, it should kind of like break the dam that some of you might have created, that blockage. So I hope that's true, because there's some beautiful stuff in the future. Really focus on this great 2 of Wands card that shows that the sky's the limit. Okay. Thank you so much, Sagittarius. From my heart to yours, so nice being with you today. Again, thanks to Ryan and Maria for helping me moderate. I'll see everybody again on Sunday for the next reading, and that should be Capricorn. The whole schedule is on my website that I listed earlier, so check it out if you'd like to. Thanks for some of the final super stickers that are coming in. I appreciate you guys. And again, I'll put a little thank you once this is on replay. Take care of yourself, everybody. Have a great weekend and a great month ahead, okay? Much love and light now and always. Thank you.